Let's just jump right into some beginner tips for Element Fission. I've been playing it since it came out pretty much. So I'm just going to share with you some stuff that I've learned along the way. I certainly will not have all the tips. So if you've got any tips that I don't cover in this video, please drop them in the comments below. They probably help me as well as a bunch of other people. And if I get anything wrong, let me know. Again, we're all new. We're all figuring it out. But I'm going to share some stuff that I think should be helpful for newer players. So also in no particular order. So let's just go ahead and start running down the list. When you unlock Arena, it's very important that you come in here and do Arena, okay? The points that you're going to get from this are very important. Also, it's a good idea to come over to your training field because the first time that you clear every one of these battles, you get a summon. So you can basically get a 10 pop by coming in here and just beating all the AI enemies. So make sure that you do that pretty soon. And then like right now I'm on full tokens. That's bad. I should not be on full tokens. I should be in here using these because you have this shop. If the honor shop is the arena shop. Now, you want to buy this power bean every week. This is non-negotiable in my opinion. You absolutely need to buy this every week. This is how you're going to skill up your Nat 5s, which are going to be very difficult to skill up. So this is going to be your primary means of doing that. So you want to make sure that you're doing at least enough arena every week to buy a power bean. Beyond that, you have all of these things that affect your energy, the energy capsule. Some of your missions and challenges will have you come level these up. But then below this, you've got HP for all your champs. You've got HP for each element. You've got attack for each element. This is how you passively strengthen all of the champions. I don't know what we're calling them in this game. Champions, monsters, characters. This is how you passively strengthen everybody in your account. So it's very important that even if you don't like PvP, that you come in here and at least just keep fighting your training dummies. You need to be in here accumulating those points, okay? So arena is going to be important in that regard. Not necessarily important that you need to like hold a certain rank or climb, but you need to be in there using your tokens because I think you even get a few points on a loss, which is pretty nice, okay? Moving right along, let's talk about wisps because they're kind of confusing, especially if you're coming from other games because it's sort of a weird combination of a couple of systems. So if we scroll down, you'll notice as you farm, you start dropping these wisps, right? You get these wisps put into your roster, and if you're from Summoner's War, you're like, are they Angelmon? And if you're from Raid, you're like, are they chickens or are they kind of like brews? What they are basically. Look at them as food fodder. So in the same way that in something like Summoner's War, you have to just take a bunch of 2 and 3 stars you're not going to build, run them through campaign, level them up to make food. That way, in Raid, same thing. You're taking all your 2 stars and leveling them to 3 stars. This is what those are. These are the food fodder champs, basically. They just level up a lot quicker than everybody else. So it's almost like they have an inherent XP boost built in. So you'll be able to make food a lot quicker than if you were just using your units. That's what they're for. As far as I can tell, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, the color of them means nothing. The element doesn't mean anything. You're not really supposed to be feeding these to give anybody experience. You're supposed to be leveling these guys up and using them as evolution food, okay? So what I mean by that is in this tab right here, you've got Enhance, Evolve, and Inherit. You're supposed to be leveling up the wisps to their max level and evolving them to different stages to use them as evolution food for the rest of your champions. So like right now, I want to 6-star my Fire Dr. Evil. So I'm leveling up a bunch of my wisps to max 40 at 4-star. And then I'll level up more wisps to turn those into 5 stars and then use those 5 stars as food to 6-star, okay? So they're pretty much strictly evolution food as far as I can tell. That's my understanding of how the wisps work, all right? Beyond the wisps, you'll unlock the XP capsule sometime soon, and it's also something that you can level up in that shop we just talked about, in the arena shop. XP capsule. So it will accumulate more XP the higher the level. So it'll basically fill up and turn over quicker. And you're going to be stacking these as you farm in the campaign, as you're leveling up your wisps or whatever champs you want to use. And then when you go to the strengthen, you have them here as a resource. So let's just throw someone in, for example. I can fill this up with these XP capsules and level up champs this way too. So not only when I'm farming campaign am I leveling up wisps and am I actively leveling up champions that I want to use, I'm also filling up these XP capsules so that when I come in here, if I want to just level somebody up real quick, I can do that. Like say I want to get this guy to 40 real quick, but I don't want to run him through campaign. I can just hit him with a few of these. and he'll be ready to roll, okay? So that's what the XP capsule is. It's basically just passive EXP generation as you farm to be also utilized in the tab in here. Also, there's a trick with the, I don't know if it's a trick, but if you come to the Evolve tab and let's say I wanted to go ahead and 5-star this wisp, and I'd have to scroll all the way down and see what food I have available and then go level them up and do all this annoying stuff. If you just hit autofill on a wisp, it'll do a lot of the work for you. It'll level up and evolve all of the necessary wisps to make it happen. And if you want to see what's being used, you can click the additional materials button and it'll tell you everything that it's using to do what you're asking it to do, right? And then same all the way across the board. So then if I hit start, now this wisp is 5-star. And I didn't have to do all the manual tedious stuff. So that's a pretty cool feature. So that's why it's a good idea to make sure that you're utilizing that XP capsule and, you know, getting your wisp drops as you farm campaign and stuff. But that's a really quick way to go in and just kind of bang through all the tedious parts of 5-starring a wisp to, you know, get them ready to be used as food. So in the same tab, let's talk more about what's going on in here. If you use a duplicate champ to level up or evolve another champ, you will also give them a skill up, okay? So for example, Steel Wing is a really good 3-star that you should probably be building for Boxing Club. If you've done a few summons, you've probably pulled a few Steel Wings at this point. So what it would be a good idea to do is when you get him to 30 and he's ready to be evolved, try to use 3 other Steel Wings to evolve him. So that way you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're turning him into a 4-star, but also giving him 3 skill ups. And then if you wanted to get crazy efficient with it, you could take 4 other Steel Wings, level them up and 4-star them. And then when he's ready to be 5-starred, use them again and continue to get skill ups. That's the most efficient way to do it. You're not really always going to want to do it that way. Sometimes you're just going to be in a hurry and you're just going to use what you got. But that's the most efficient way to do it. If you can use duplicates to evolve your champs and get skill ups in the same motion, it'll make your life a lot easier in the long run. Also in this game, if you notice when you're looking at your Element, they have these stacks. When you use a duplicate champ, that is the same element. So like if back to the Steel Wings thing, you can use fire and water and he'll still get the skill up, which improves his abilities, right? But the stack, he'll get only if you use another tree Steel Wing. It has to be the same element and same champ, okay? And the stack just improves their speed by 1. And you'll notice everybody has the stack potential here. So especially someone like Popo Rider, you want to get the stacks up because it's very important that your Popo Rider's fast. So that's something to pay attention to. You try to use duplicate champs of the same element and max these stacks out. It's going to be pretty easy to do on 3-stars. 4 and 5 stars, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But just keep that in mind when you're making your food, okay? For this one, don't make the mistake that I and a few other people in my Discord made and forget about the missions tab. I don't know how I forgot about it. I guess because it just never red dotted me. We looked at it in the first video we did, and then I completely forgot about it. I was pretty far into the game for where I'm at now, and still on the second mission, and then I had to go back and manually do all these missions, some of which would have been completed passively had I been paying attention to them. So make sure that from the jump, you're focusing on your mission tab, because there's good rewards in here. You can see right under me. Well, yeah, we'll just do that. There's raid under there. You get some runes for your first little milestone. Then you get 30 summons, 5 power beans, and eventually a Twilight Nat 5, who is actually looks like they're going to be pretty good. Plus all the rewards you get from each individual mission. So be very deliberate about coming in here and seeing what mission you're on and going and completing it. None of them have really been too hard. None of them really feel too time gated. I think there's a mission at some point where you have to use a Twilight Illyrium. So when you get your Twilight Illyrium, as bad as you're going to want to pull it, try to hang on to it so that you don't get stuck behind that mission waiting to get your second Twilight Illyrium. It's not a bad idea to look a little bit ahead just to see what's coming so you can kind of plan for it. But the only things I think that could hold you up at all are every now and then it's like, summon 3 Element, summon 1 Element, use a Twilight Illyrium. And if you don't have summons, you'd be stuck there for a minute. But for the most part, it's felt pretty reasonable, okay? Make sure that you always have an XP boost active. Don't, especially in the first week or 2, do not play this game without an XP boost active. You're going to be pushing through campaign. and doing a lot of things where this is going to be very, very important. Generally speaking, you probably want to try to have this active all the time. A little bit later, you'll do it more when you want to focus specifically on a bunch of campaign farming to really make the most of it. But make sure that you have this 2x EXP thing up here before you do anything. Otherwise, you're literally cutting your progress in half, okay? And if you don't have that lit up here, you've probably got some in your inventory. So if you come down here, let me move my camera a little bit. If you come down here and click inventory and then go item over here, you've probably got a few. The game has given you several. I'm 100% free to play. I have no affiliation with the devs. I have nothing in my account that everyone else hasn't had access to. And I'm still sitting on 3, and I've probably used 3 or 4 of them already. So the game's going to give you several of them. Make sure you're utilizing them, okay? They're very, very important to have active. Let's talk about AI setup in your battles. Because I've heard a few people talk about being annoyed about the AI situation, and you can actually control it. So in this screen, if you long click on your champ and then go to intelligence, this is your AI setup. It's off by default on everybody. So if you turn it on, you can then go in and change priorities of their skills, and some of them have some modifiers. So like, of like when they'll use it or when they won't use it. So for someone like let's say you've got, bookworm. I guess I can do it for this bookworm. Where's mine? Where's my bookworm? Right here. So for the A3, that's a really strong nuke, ignore defense. I don't want my bookworm to use this skill unless there are 2 or more enemies alive, because we've all watched you almost finish up a wave. There's 1 enemy left and the enemy has 6 HP. If you look at them mean enough, they'll die. And your bookworm wants to use the A3. And then you go to the next wave and have to wait for the whole cooldown again. This way, they won't burn it at the end of the wave. So there's modifiers for a lot of different skills. Important thing to keep in mind is, you see my bookworm has an energy cost of 9. When you turn this on, it goes up by 1. So it does cost you energy to modify your character's AI. So be sure that you're not just turning it on arbitrarily for everybody, because then you're just flushing energy down the toilet. Try to only turn it on for champs that you specifically need it for, because it's costing you 1 extra energy, which might not sound like a lot, but if you're doing it for all 4 of your champs, that's an extra 4 energy for every battle. So 10 battles, you've now flushed an extra 40 energy down the toilet that you might not have even needed. So you're talking about 4 or 5 more runs depending on what your energy level is capping out at. So just be aware it's there and you can use it when you need it, but do not just throw it on for everybody for the hell of it, okay? Another thing that I just want to be sure everybody is aware of, let's just jump into a low stage real quick so I can show you this. There's another sort of AI in the game that I think you should be aware of, because this will make your life easier too. When you're in the battle, if you click this settings cog down here, you'll have auto attack order. I need to keep moving myself around. You have second stage and you have final stage. Second stage is usually going to be that mid boss. So you clear the first wave, get to the second one where there's that kind of mid boss, then there's another wave, and then there's the main boss. So second stage, generally speaking, sometimes this might be different depending on who you are and what you're doing and what your champs look like, but generally speaking, you just want to target the elite first, because that'll be quicker. And then when you get to the final stage, this will vary, again, a little bit more heavily depending on your situation and your roster and what dungeon you're doing. But you can either target the boss first, or you can decide which of the 2 towers to target, or both, right? So if like the left one's the more dangerous one and you need to kill the left one first, do that, then the right one, then the boss. But you can set your priorities in here, right? And 1 will obviously be the highest priority, 3 will be the lowest. But be aware that you can do this. This will make your life a lot easier in a lot of these dungeons, okay? Let's just back out of there so we can keep going. What else we got? Oh, yes, this one's really nice. The filter and team select. When you're putting your team together, let's say you want to be in wisp EXP farming mode, which is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not really leveling up any champs actively. I just want to do wisps. It's kind of annoying to do this because you got a long way to go, right? In the settings, I keep needing to move. Oh, I don't need to move myself. You can change a few things. There's a few things you can change in here. One, as you progress, you're going to unlock the potential to do more multi-battles at a time. Like eventually, I think I'm going to get 20. Right now, I can only do 5 and 10. Once you unlock 10, I think a lot of people might think they're stuck at just doing 10. You can lower it to 5 in the settings, okay? So that's something you can do. And then all of these different settings that you have, one of which is only display material type element. And now all you've got is your fodder. And it's way less scrolling and way easier to manage. So just be aware that there are some settings you can come in here and toggle. You can have it show the speed of all your champs, which is something that I think is really, really nice. So let's say you're trying to put together an arena team, or maybe you've built 2 of the same champ and one of them's faster and you don't know how to identify them from the screen easily. You can have it display everybody's speed and get an idea of what order your team's going to be going. And I think that's a really cool little quality of life thing. So just be aware. You can also get rid of the support list if you'd rather see more of your champs here, and then it gives you a little button you can click if you want to see your support champs. So again, lots of customization in here, and I think the only display material type element is legitimately a game changer. It's going to save you so much time scrolling through that list. All right. As far as that, we're not going to talk too much about gear. I'll do a video about gear specifically very soon, but I don't want to get into it in this video. I just kind of want to give you a few things to get you headed in the right direction. The last thing I want to talk about is entering promo codes. And there are 5 promo codes that I'll have on the screen right now. I'll also have them in the description of this video if you want to just copy and paste them. But if you just click supply and then go to miscellaneous, if you're on iOS, you won't have this gift exchange button to my understanding. Everyone else will have it. If you're on iOS, you're going to need to join their Discord. And in their Discord, they have a code section. And under every code, there's a claim for iOS button. I'll put a link to their Discord in the description as well. So if you're on iOS and you haven't been able to claim any promo codes yet, that's how you do it. But everybody else, you just click this and type in the code and it'll go straight to your inbox, okay? So again, the promo codes are down below. Link to their Discord is down below. And a link to my Discord will be down below. We've got a pretty active Element Fission section in my Discord. Lots of very helpful people. We've got a show-off section if you have some good summons. We have a champ advice section. We have an invite code section for anybody that wants to share invite codes with each other, so you can use each other's rep and unlock some of these summons, because there's quite a few summons in here to be had for getting your invite codes spread around. So there will be links to everything that I've just talked about in the description of this video. I hope to see you in the Discord. I do hope this was helpful. And again, if you have any tips I didn't talk about, which some of you certainly will, please drop them in the comments, because you probably have something in there that I don't know too. And that's it. I hope it was helpful. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one.